Hi everybody, welcome back to another video, and this is a review, Nightwish, Human Nature. This is a first impression review, part of a new series I'm doing, even though my old series is still continuing, which is reviewing my record collection. This is basically one where I don't own the album yet, or don't own the album, will never own the album, and I'm just listening to it once. This album, as a disclaimer, I'm getting it at the end of the week coming, because over here it's out on the 17th, a week after the whole world, it seems. So I'm getting it late, but I thought, hey, everybody's listening to it, everybody's putting stuff out for it. It's like, I've got to listen to it at least once to get an idea of what's going on out there. There's a lot of mixed reactions, shall we say, from what I can see from some of the write-ups and some of the things on YouTube and some of the things on there. I haven't listened or watched to any of them yet, but I've seen some of the headlines and it's like, whoa, very interesting the way people come to these sort of things. But first impression review, basically what I'm going to be doing, I'll get an album on Spotify, Amazon, wherever I listen. I'm going to listen to that album and then I'm going to give a thumbs up. Yep, at some stage I've got to buy this. Thumbs down is like, never getting this, or a not really sure, which means that album is either something that maybe I'll listen to it again. It might be a grower. It might definitely be a grower. I've got to listen to it. I've got to listen to it again. So a nice simple sort of system where people will be even more annoyed at me. That's my job. But anyway, Human Nature. Listen to it once. Listen to it yesterday while relaxing with the summer heat, even though it's spring. It's been very, very nice here the last few days. It's a bit cooler today, luckily, because it was getting a bit hot for this time of year, and now it's going to be getting a bit cold for this time of year, because it's always either too hot or too cold. Whether the people on the television go, well, I mean, it's too hot, too cold. Every year it's either too hot or too cold, no matter where the temperature is, what day it is. Always that's what they say. They never go like, oh, it's normal for this time of year. No, it's never normal, apparently. So what is normal? Well, I'm not. Stop talking about that. Keep talking about human nature, which some people have already turned off because they're going like, you're jibber-jabbering, and that's what I do. I jibber-jabber. That's my USP. But anyway, Human Nature. This is, I'm not sure how many Nightwish, this will be my 4th album, because I'm getting an album. I'm going to like the album. Spoiler, I like the album. This will be my 4th album. My first ever album by Nightwish was Imagination, which featured Annette. Then I got Endless Forms Most Beautiful, which featured Floor. Then I got Poet and the Pendulum. I think that's what it's called. Because my memory for some of the album titles I've got lots and lots of albums here. I forget the names of it. It's Poet and the Pendulum, isn't it? Which also featured Annette. And now I've got this one that featured Floor. So I've got none with Talia. So if I ever do reviews of those, unless somebody sends one to me, it'll be a first impression like this one. So this is just basically based on one single listen, because I'm not going to listen to it again until I've got that album in my hands. Then I'll spend a couple of weeks digesting it. Not like that. I mean, listening to it and going formulating a proper opinion, maybe a bit totally different to this one, and then I'll do a review of my record collection on it. How about that for tying it in? And because it's a first impression, I can't remember most of the names of the songs. But anyway, it comes with 10 songs officially. There's 9 on one CD, and then we've got a multi-part instrumental suite on the second disc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the first disc first, and I'll try and rattle through it quickly because I've already gabbled on too much about other things. It starts off with music. Music is very interesting. The first 3 minutes are basically an instrumental as well, and it's like, I'm going like, is this another instrumental song, even though they end on an instrumental? But it's not. Of course, after 3 minutes, Floor comes in with a very lilting, gentle, fragile sort of voice. The first 3 minutes, instrumental, it goes several different places, almost Devin Townsend-like in its eclecticism. It's not Devin Townsend style, that's not what I mean. I mean eclectic. I mean it goes to there, and then goes to there, and then goes to there, all the time keeping a melody, which is what Devin does. Other people can do that sort of thing, but they tend to go to places where it's like, I can't find a hook and I can't find a melody. Devin Townsend does it well. Nightwish did that well as well. Not quite as crazily as Townsend does, but they still did it quite interestingly. And the whole song itself is pretty damn good after one listen. It's definitely, sorry, excuse me, it may even be classed as a deep cut, because it's one of those that I can tell from the very single listen that it's got layers that you can peel back and hear more and more as you go on, every time you listen to it. Because coming off it, even though these are just splashes of sound, vision and thought from other groups and stuff, there's definitely parts of it has a 70s sort of prog rock kind of vibe to the sound, or classic rock vibe to the sound in there. There's also in the chorus, I almost hark back to classic ABBA type choruses. It's not quite the same, but it had that sort of exuberance and that sort of classy style to the poppy chorus, which was like, whoa, almost could be. You take back everything else, put some ABBA types in it, you've got an almost ABBA chorus. None of those are bad things in my point of view. It's just, that's what just came to my little tiny brain. It was like, it just is. And I was very, very impressed. Now, trying to remember the order of the songs, I've got several of the songs in my head, but trying to remember the order is just nonsensical in my mind. Noise is next. Yeah, order. Noise speaks for itself. I've done a reaction to it. Links in the description, I would say, for Noise. Yeah, I'll put Noise in the description. It's just a glorious symphonic noise. It's basically possibly their most symphonic song on the album, which is a bit like, what? It's a very commercial song, of course, because it's the lead, but they also do a lot of symphonic elements to it. It's a very good song. Recommend that one very much indeed. Then we've got, is it Shoemaker? Shoemaker. Not looking at the lyrics, not listening to the lyrics very well, because it's the first listen. Is it about the Shoemaker-Levy comet or something? Is it basically delivering things to the universe and things, perhaps? Not sure. But Shoemaker is definitely what I'm thinking of, rather than actual somebody cobbling something. It's a very good song. It's a very interesting song. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. Right now, as I'm trying to remember it, I'm fucking forgetting what it was about. And what it sounded like. I just remember it coming up and going like, again, it's not a heavy song in any sort of way. The album itself is a very light album in terms of what I've used done before. There's a lack of bombast, there's a lack of brutality, there's a lack of power in this. It's very much more a progressive rock album with elements of metal, elements of symphonic as well. It's very much more progressive rock in how they've proceeded along its course. And of course, symphonic, my most favourite symphonic stuff, is very much in the more progressive realms. I like a bit of Epica here and there. I like a lot of Nightwish here and there, and they're very much more expansive and progressive in their styles. I do like the more poppy stuff. I do like the Dark Element. I like Present Day Within Temptation more or less. The last album was a bit, wait till my review on that and you'll want to lynch me or something probably. That has good points and bad points, but I've really enjoyed Within Temptation in their more poppy rocky elements, so that's nothing to do with that. But this is much more a progressive rock album than a symphonic album. There's moments of symphonic bombast in there, but it doesn't really dominate as much as previous albums. Onto Harvest. Harvest I've also done a reaction to, very Celtic, very pipey. Troy Donoclee's vocals on there are fantastic. Floor doing, I think that Floor and Marco probably do backing vocals, but you can't really hear when Floor does the backups. Basically, her voice dominates. I think it's fairly natural that it would, more or less. But Harvest is fantastic. I love this extended instrumental piece as well. It's just glorious. Then comes Pan. Pan, like Noise, has a little bit of a chug in there. In fact, a lot more chug than Noise does. Several places, and really does make you go, ooh, there's some good stuff in here. Pan is a really, really good, brash little song with lots of little lilting moments. Really enjoyed Pan. Then we've got the final half. How's the Heart, Procession. Both pretty damn good songs. There's not a lot to say about them after a first listen. I like them. I remember liking them, but they didn't make a huge impression on me after one go. Tribal, though, came along with its lots of tribal beats going on in there. Again, good bit of heaviness going on in there as well, but again, not as powerful as previous albums. But that one also stood out. I would expect, really, although my phone keeps turning off, I would expect How's the Heart Procession, they could possibly be deep cuts for me. As I say, I like them, but they didn't make me go, ah, and I remember that bit, and remember that bit, and remember that bit. Don't quite remember them as well as I should after one single listen, but I reckon they're going to be deep cuts. Because I wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, I was like, ooh. But they whooshed past, really. And Tribal, because, you know, Pan before it is a fairly standout one, and Tribal after it is also a fairly standout one after those two. It's like, oh. The one thing on the 9 songs on disc 1 is Endlessness, which is Marco's song. Marco has great pipes, of course, does a great job on this song, but it's my least favourite song on that first disc. For whatever reason, it's probably their most normal Nightwish song, actually, overall, other than Noise, which itself is a little different to what they've done before. This one feels more like other Nightwish albums, and for whatever reason, doesn't quite do it for me as much. Again, it could be a deep cut. It made me, as I go on, listening to it for several times, it might just basically make you go, wow. But on one single listen, doesn't impact me as much. It makes me go, yeah, standard Nightwish. After all the complexity and changes and progressiveness that's come before it, it sort of feels a bit flat on one single listen. And anyway, speaking of one single listen, let's go on to the second disc. All the works of nature which adorn the world. It's got Vista, the Blue, the Green, Moors, Aurora, Quiet as a Snow, Anthropocene, and Ad Astra. Now, this is like a bonus disc almost. I collect stuff. I don't mind a bonus disc. A lot of the time when I get a bonus disc by a band, I'm not really interested in a lot of what they've got on that bonus disc. I just want it. Sometimes there's something good on there. Most of the time, there ain't. This is okay. It's a huge suite of music. A lot of it's a little bit samey. The first part and the last part have a bit of spoken word in there to keep your interest. Although the first part doesn't really need to. It's like an intro. But the Blue and the Green that come after it, pretty much the same. It's just sort of goes on. We've got the Moors, where Troy's pipes come out. He does it again later on another subsection. Not really sure which part it was, because you drift a little bit. It's a drifty type one. It's not like it's not like a sort of instrumental. It's a very gentle instrumental for the most part. There is a bit of bombast here and there, and Ad Astra at the end is much my favourite part of the whole suite. It definitely is the part I like the best. There's a moment, I think, in the first part we got Floor doing a little sort of moment as well. I'm not sure if he comes back in again because I lost the plot a little bit on it. I've seen some of the highlights on YouTube. You look at the pictures on YouTube with the title on it. It's amazing. I disagree. It's all right. It's not. I mean, obviously one listen, but these are doing it on one listen as well. I think it's a bit disingenuous to go like, it's amazing, unless you've never heard anything before like that, which possibly then it would be. And I'm certain some of those people definitely haven't heard anything quite like it. So to them, it probably is a really innovative, interesting thing. To me, it's just nice instrumental. It's a nice add-on. If I'm going to listen to the whole album, you can listen to it again. Of course, obviously I'm going to listen to it again a few times to get ready for the proper review to see if I can not upset so many people with that, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a bonus disc. It's alright, I've got it. You can play it for people as a nice gentle background, but it doesn't really offer much to me. It's like, yes, it's a labour of love for him, and other people who would back him up go like, yeah, it's a labour of love for him, so therefore it's awesome. It's like, do you like it? Doesn't matter if I like it. That's the sort of, some people are like that. But, each to their own. If you can't differentiate between things and you love everything, more power to you. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty damn great, innovative, progressive album. It's very interesting. After one listen, I mean, obviously it's 2 songs on there I've heard quite a lot, but the rest of it hits you pretty hard. At the start, start of it hits you pretty. It's very like, whoa, that goes there. Whoa, that's going there. What? Ooh, yeah. And like I say, then you've got a couple of songs which are like, I realise I'm listening to them, but I'm not taking anything in as much. And then Tribal hits you between the eyes again. Very interesting overall album. Of course it's going to be an up. Yes, of course it is. Will this be one of their best albums? Possibly. Interestingly, before I did this, I looked at a review on Amazon.co.uk. If somebody's reviewed it who's got it already. We haven't got it, so they probably ordered it direct from Nuclear Blast or direct from Nightwish or something, so it's come in early. But UK release for whatever reason, a week later. But anyway, their review was like, don't like it, I don't like it, because it's different. It's not the same. I like the last album because it was the same. This isn't the same. Which is fine. Taking the pee out of somebody who's obviously very distressed that they don't like the new album. It could grow on them. They've only just had the bloody thing. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. You might find things in there. It's like, also, as you listen to it, you might hate it more. Who knows? But anyway, it's enough from me. Hope you enjoyed this first impression review. There'll be more to come as I listen to stuff once. And if you're thinking, hey, it's unfair to listen to things once, just remember, out there, people just turn on things and go like, they give a song a few seconds and go like, nah. I'm giving a whole album at least one listen. So I'm actually being good and kind. So, yeah. Have a good day, be safe, be comfortable in your homes. Listen to Nightwish and relax. See you for another one soon. Bye.